Hello my dear students. Today I brought another video and my today topic is all about the Taenia Solium, which is commonly known as the tapeworm. This is another helminth parasite which is very important and commonly found, and they are cosmopolitan in distribution. Then their systematic position, that is, this Taenia Solium belongs to phylum Platyhelminthes, class Cestoda, and this tapeworm belongs to the order Cyclophyllidia, family Taenidae, and scientific name genus Taenia and species Solium. So there are two species of Taenia. One is Taenia Solium and another is Taenia saginata. But for your syllabus, it is mainly concerned about this Taenia Solium, which is commonly known as the pork tapeworm because it is mainly present in the muscles of the pork. And then another one, Taenia saginata, is mainly present in beef. The main difference is that. So, this Taenia Solium is worldwide in distribution and they are usually very dangerous and commonly found helminth parasitic worms. Then, what about their structure? The structure of Taenia Solium is they are commonly known as the tapeworm because their structure is mainly tape-like structure. This is the structure of Taenia Solium. This is the structure of Taenia Solium. So, the structure is usually mainly divided into three parts. The head, this is the head, and neck, and the long portion which is known as the strobila. This is the whole structure of Taenia Solium, and this is the head or scolex of Taenia Solium. In this parasite, which is just like tail, their head is known as the scolex. So, there is some peculiar advantage character which are present in this head region. In the head region, there is rostellum and 4 suckers are present at the head region. This rostellum and the sucker are usually, their function is for attachment of their body to the host cells. Usually, these worms are inhabited. They are inhabited in the small intestine. These parasites are inhabited in the small intestine of human beings. And this is all about their scolex, that is head region. Next to head region is the small neck, and this neck region is usually joined with long strobila. This long strobila is usually provided with different segments, and these segments are known as the proglottids. So, the structure of Taenia Solium is divided into three parts. One is the scolex or head, next is the neck, and the last part is the strobila. Again, in this part, see here is the head, this is the neck, and this long, thin, tape-like structure is the whole structure. From neck to end of the worm is the strobila. So, in this structure, in strobila, this segment again divided into three parts. The strobila is divided into three parts. Strobila is divided into three parts. The first part, which is near the neck region, is known as the premature proglottids. I repeat you that this segment is known as the proglottids, and around 1 to 900 proglottids are present depending upon their age, that is in the larva, in the adult and in the young ones. There are different segments. The number of the segments are different in different stages, in different ages of this parasite. Ages means the young one and the adult one. Okay, then this proglottids is divided into three regions. Those regions which are near the neck region is known as the premature proglottids, and the middle one is known as the mature proglottids. Mature proglottids, and the third one is the gravid proglottids. Then think why these three regions are separated, because these parasites are hermaphrodite and the eggs are present in this segment. Those eggs which are present in the premature proglottids are premature, just developed, and the middle one is the mature, slightly mature eggs are present in this region. In the last one, in the last segment, which contain full of mature eggs are present in this gravid proglottids region of strobila. So, these are about the structure of Taenia Solium or tapeworm. So, I repeat again. In their structure, it can be divided into three parts. The first part is the scolex, which we call as head, but in tapeworm, the head is known as the scolex, which is provided with strobila and four different suckers which are present in the anteriormost region, that is the scolex region. Next to scolex is the neck, and the neck is joined with the long strobila. This strobila is usually made up of different segments. Each segment is known as the proglottids, and there are about 1 up to 900 proglottids are present in a tapeworm, and the length of the tapeworm may be 2 to 3 meters normally, but in some cases there is some very long tapeworm are also found in some area that is up to 8 meters long. So, this proglottis again divided into 3 parts. The proglottis which are near the neck region is known as the immature proglottis, which contain immature eggs. And in the middle region, which is known as the mature proglottis, which contain mature eggs. At the posterior most end of the strobila, where those region is known as the gravid proglottis, where mature eggs are present. So, these tapeworms are also hermaphrodite. So, when this one of the segments of the gravid proglottis are passes along with the passage of their definitive host, then the another newly formed segments are usually developed at the neck region so that their body length is kept in constant. So, these are all about the structure of Taenia Solium. Then, next is the life cycle. For this parasite also, like that of the liver club, these parasites also having two different types of the hosts are present, intermediate host and definitive host. But the life cycle of this parasite is slightly different from that of the liver club. The next is the life cycle of Taenia Solium. So, the adult Taenia Soliums are usually present in the small intestine of human being. Taenia Solium adult in small intestine of human. Taenia Solium is usually inhabited in the small intestine of human. Then, their eggs are passes along with the feces of definitive host or human. Their eggs are passes along with the feces. Egg means the gravid segment of the strobila, that is gravid proglottis, are usually passes along with the feces. This is the segment of the gravid proglottis. These are the fertilized eggs. These are the gravid proglottis and these are the eggs. This segment of gravid proglottis are passes along with the feces of the definitive host, and these embryonated eggs are usually present in the environment. These embryonated eggs are usually present in the muddy soil or it is present in the environment. So, when this is ingested by pig or it can also be ingested by human itself. When this egg is ingested by pig or human itself, then inside the body it develops into oncosphere larva. Oncosphere larva is usually developed, and this oncosphere larva, when through the bloodstream, it passes or it migrates to the muscles. It migrates to the muscles of pig as well as human. And in case of the man, it can be infected by the ingestion of this muscle by the human being. Then this is about the primary infection or primary life cycle of the Taenia Solium, when these muscles which are provided with this oncosphere larva in case of the human being, it is transferred to another part of the body organ, that is in case of the when these muscles are transferred in eyes as well as in brain, then cystic sarcosis are usually developed. Cystic sarcosis are developed. This is about the secondary infection of this parasite. So, I repeat again about the life cycle. The adult parasites are present in the small intestine of the human being, and the fertilized egg, the embryonated egg, are passes along with the feces, and they are present in the environment. When this feces is ingested by the pig, then it enters inside the body of the pig, and in the stomach, oncosphere larvae are usually developed, and they penetrate the wall of the stomach and penetrate to the blood circulation and the passes in different sides to the muscles. And when this oncosphere larva present in the muscles, which is known as the cysticercus. That is, the larvae are present inside the muscle, and such type of the meat which is provided with such type of the larva is known as the measly pork. Measly pork. Measly pork are the meat of the pig, that is pork, which is usually contain these infected stage larvae, which we call as measly pork. And man can get infected when man ingested such type of the measly pork as raw or undercooked. When undercooked meat is raw meat of the pig, that is measly pork, is eaten by human, then infection can occur. And this larva enter inside the body of the human and penetrate to the stomach, and they reach the intestine where they develop into adult stages. This is the primary type of the infection. In case of the secondary infection, accidentally when the eggs are present in the environment through the contaminated water or through contaminated hands, it can be ingested by human being itself. So, for this parasite, human being act as a definitive host as well as intermediate host. So, if human being ingested this egg, the egg of the Taenia Solium, then they passes through ingestion to stomach, then migrated to the blood circulation, and it migrates in different organs. But this larva mainly targeted in different special, most important organ, for example, eyes, brain, etc. But it can also present in the skin also. But in case of the brain, it can be fatal, and this development of the larva in different organ is known as the cystosarcosis. Cystosarcosis are the larvae which are developed inside the body of the human being muscles in different organs. That is in case of the eyes, in case of the brain. But in case of the brain, they have different name, which is known as the neurocystosarcosis, which can be discussed in the pathogenicity. Okay, so this is all about the life cycle of Taenia Solium. Then what about duration? From the beginning up to the end of the life cycle, it can take place about 1 to 2 months. 1 to 2 months of duration. Then you should write in figure life cycle of Taenia Solium. So this is about the life cycle. Then the next is the disease. This is the most important and interesting one. The disease caused by this tapeworm or Taenia Solium is known as the teniasis. Teniasis. Teniasis is a disease which is caused by the Taenia Solium. In this case, first the main symptom is the abdominal pain, loss of appetite, etc. Some mild symptoms are present in the primary infection. When men get infected with eating of the raw and not properly cooked meat. In such cases, the other stages develop in the small intestine and that there will be some abdominal pain, loss of appetite, etc. But in this case, this is known as the primary infection. There are two types of the infection, primary infection and secondary infection. As men can get infected by ingestion of that egg or by ingestion of that measly pork. Such type of the infection is the primary infection. Whereas in secondary infection, it is very serious one as the fatal one also. In this case, when men accidentally ingested the egg directly and it entered through stomach and it reaches in different important organ, for example in brain. So the teniasis, which is usually developed in the brain, is known as the neurocystosarcosis. Neurocystosarcosis. This is the development of teniasis in brain in case of the human, and as a result of this disease, there may be seizure. There may be seizure, dementia, headache, and in some cases it may be fatal also. This is very serious case. When these eggs are present in the brain, then such type of the cystosarcosis is known as the neurocystosarcosis, and this is a serious case. So for this parasite which causes teniasis, the secondary infection is more fatal than the primary infection. Then next is the treatment. Treatment for this teniasis is the drug administered by the doctor is the number 1 is the praziquantel, number 2 is the niclosamide, Number 3 is the albendazole and number 4 is the mafacrin. These are the some drugs which are usually for the treatment of the teniasis. Then the next one is the preventive measure, which is most important one. Preventive measure. Preventive measures. Number 1, the properly cooking of meat. This is the number 1 important. And number 2, preventing human feces from contaminating pig feeds. Preventing human feces from contaminating in pig feed. And the third point is the proper disposal of proper feces. Number 4 is the for human cystosarcosis. For human cystosarcosis, contaminated hand are the primary cause. Especially among food handlers. Especially among food handlers. These are the preventive measures of this disease, teniasis. So, in today's class, we discuss about the structure, life cycle, disease caused by this parasite, their treatment in the preventive measure. So, this is all about